Hey there, welcome back to the virtual table. So, taking a quick break from RPG goodness, which I have been on quite a kick for lately. Um, this Kickstarter just arrived, and we covered this game about a year ago, and it is now physically on my desk. And I was very anxious to see the changes they made for the solo mode. The primary game is largely unchanged, and I could not recognize any changes there, but they did change the solo mode just slightly. And so we're going to give that a crack again. And then I was very surprised. So this is the rulebook for the game, and check this out under playtesting and advice. Look at that. They added a jerk, the biggest YouTuber jerk of them all, right here, to the playtesting and advice section. They actually took some of the advice I gave them and they implemented it in this game, and I am so very honored and impressed. It's never happened before. I mean, I record. I have over 1,000 videos recorded on this channel, and most people don't take me very seriously, and or, or don't like me at all. But anyways, no, these guys have been awesome. They did speak to me several times through Board Game Geek and on my channel, and I don't know if they're going to come back for this. They did find me the first time around, but thank you guys. I was not expecting to make it into your credits, and I am very honored and very pleased about that. And as such, I feel very inspired to do one more video of covering the changes in the solo mode. Um, and I'm actually going to be hosting this multiplayer in a couple days. So this is a great way to work out the cobwebs for me, so I can teach it to them as well as remind myself of everything. Um, so what are the changes? What is this game? For some of you, well, I do have a playthrough where I cover this, and initially I think I had a few things wrong. The developers helped me to correct them, but this is basically a civilization style game. There are 12 years in the game represented here, 6 in Era 1 and 6 in Era 2. There is what's called the standard game that ends on the ninth year, and then an epic game goes up to 12. So there are two different methods of play. In the solo game, you're going to play what's called a saga. Well, you could do a standalone, but we're doing the saga. In the saga, the first two games, we play three games. The first two are going to be standard games that are going to be 9 years long, and then the final one will be 12. And in a saga, in a solo game, you have this piece in the middle, which is the Emperor, who is asking you for aid as the kingdom is being invaded. So normally in a multiplayer game, you're playing your 9 or 12 years, and you're just relying on your player board here, and then the board which is out here. But this part is specifically for solo, which is very cool. Now most of it is unchanged. A couple key changes from my last playthrough a year ago, if you've seen it. The first one is right here. This is 100% my contribution to the game. We were playing this, and I immediately said, "Hey, we need a way to flush these cards, and these cards need to be able to be refreshed," and that's exactly what happens here. And so it shows that the cards can be refreshed, and it's your choice. You could choose not to refresh them or refresh them. It's up to you. Also, we were playing this mode, and it wasn't primarily a suggestion of mine, but I was talking about some things to help improve. And what they did was they added so you can actually use your peasants to help with the war. In the past, it was always gold can be used to help with the war, and that's unchanged. But now they added that you can also use peasants to help with the war. I think it used to be supplies, um, if I remember correctly, but it's now changed to peasants, which one peasant is two supplies anyway. So it's sort of similar. But the other thing that they did is they added this whole deck called the Serpent's Allies, which I think was not I think it directly was something that I had suggested. They they listened to what I suggested. They implemented a little different than I suggested, but But basically, you get to play as any of these factions up here. There's 6 of them, and I was complaining that the leaders in these factions are designed for multiplayer, and so some of them make no sense in single player. And so what they did was they implemented the idea of a Serpent Alliance, which is basically advisors for the king that can help us. So I know I'm jumping into some of the rules, and maybe some of you are not even familiar with the rules, but basically you get advisors that can help you. Like your king is here, and then you can add up to 2 advisors to help you on a quest. Well, in a solo game, you get a potential advisor here as well. So the emperor will have an advisor, and you can get it from this deck, which is the new rule, or just like in a year ago, you can get that advisor from the other allies that you've played in the past. Because remember, the saga is a 3-game system. So if you've finished your first game and you're on your second game, you could take an advisor from whatever clan you used in the first game instead of the advisors that are here. So, anyways, they're not really. I mean, I would say they're important changes. They're not major changes. The primary structure. Oh, one more thing. When determining your setup for your solitaire game, in the past they still have the normal, hard, and nightmare mode, but they had normal, hard, and nightmare start and normal, hard, and nightmare finish. So like you could have like a normal, a normal hard, a hard normal. You could actually have a nightmare start but a normal finish or whatever. They simplified it. It's just normal, hard, and nightmare, and that's it. So we're gonna try the nightmare. It might be a bit much for me, but we'll do it. So we start with 4 prosperity points, and the tracker start position is on 5. So what does that mean? It means that this starts on 5. So the arrow is pointing to the number 5, and we have 4 prosperity points. Now, prosperity points is not something you don't have like tokens or anything to represent that, but what it does mean is right here we have the prosperity deck, and we get to start with 4 points, which means we get to take a card from this deck, and see right here in the, well, here, so see that right there? That's worth 2 prosperity points to use this card. So at the start of the game, we can foresee the 6th and final year event for 2. And then here, gain both bonuses for productive years if in either worker or defensive stance. So productive years is a benefit you can get out of here. There might be one here. Right here, there's a productive year. So in this productive year, you gain, if you had a worker stance, you get this bonus. If you had this stance, you get that bonus. What this is saying is you're going to get both if you draw one of those cards. This one costs 6. The first 3 tiers of Agricultural Province only cost 3. You know what? Before I get into all this, let's just do a quick overview. This is a civilization style game. Right now we have these lands, which are at level 0. You can level them up, so they get, see that Roman numeral 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so you're going to grow your empire. The way you grow them is you have to produce 2 iron ore mines, which are what these symbols are. This is 3 towns, 4 grain, etc. And once you produce those, you can then level it up. Up along the top here, in this gray bar, is your income. So right here we would get an income of 1 material, they call that, or you could call it brick. Now the part that's in this little gray section is specific to here. So you have these stances. If we put ourselves in a worker stance and we put that worker on this spot, then I could gain that income. But there's a lot of ifs there. I have to be in a worker stance and I have to put the worker in that exact spot. So if I put a worker here, I'm not getting this or this. So I have to choose, right? And so you level up your areas, and they get you income. The actual turn structure is like this. We're going to be drawing cards, endeavor cards, and then we're going to be able to build two of them. We can always buy a wild card, which is a special type of card. We can do extra builds where we work our people, but when we work them, we cause them obviously to become unhappy. And then we progress the cards. So this is our manufacturing queue. This is going to take 4 years to finish. At the end of this particular phase, all cards move down one, and then if we go through this phase again, it keeps going, and then eventually it finishes. And then when it finishes, it goes in our territory here. And like I said, if you have two of these, you can spend them out of your territory to permanently upgrade your resources. So right now, we're going to start the game with a Serpent's Artisan, which is a wild card. So this little question mark here means it counts as any of these symbols that we want it to count as. And then it says produce any one province upgrade requirement. And then if we want it to be a capstone, we have to spend a gem. And see, since last year, they really improved the language. This had me confused. And then one of the other things is when you buy a wild card, they updated the rulebook, because I was confused that when you bought a wild card, I thought you automatically got to build it for free. But when you buy that wild card, it counts as one of your two builds. So there's like mistakes that I made in my playthrough that they actually updated the rulebook to fix. There's technology in the game over here, and the technology, of course, is got Roman numerals. So I have to be, for example, if I'm level 1 resources, then here's the resources column. I can buy either of these two level 1 technologies. I have to get this to level 2 in order to be able to buy a level 2 technology, and so forth. And then actually, to go to level 3, you can see I need 2 iron, but I also need 2 technologies purchased. They could be level 1 or 2, but I need at least 2 of them purchased. This little lock symbol here and here means you need to have what's on the left, but you're not going to spend them. You just have to have them in order to be able to upgrade. And then whatever's on the right, you're going to spend. So everything sort of has synergies with each other. And like I said, I have a full playthrough of a normal game and a normal saga and a nightmare saga. So I actually did multiple playthroughs of this. So I'm being a little redundant when I'm trying to go through all the rules. I just want to give a nice high overview of at least what's going on so you can have some sanity. So basically we're playing nightmare mode. They gave us 4 of these points. What do they call them? Prosperity points. Now, at the end of a mission, this is how many, we're going to play the saga game. So at the end of our first game, if you're playing normal, you need 26 points. And for every point beyond 26, I gain a prosperity point. So, so there's a bit of like a reward for exceeding. So since I'm playing in nightmare mode, I need 30 points. So let's say I have 32 points in my first game. That means I'm going to have 2 prosperity points that I'll be able to use towards my next game. And when you have 4 prosperity points, you have a choice. You could take it all in gold, so I could actually have 4 gold at the start of the game. Or, like what I'm doing here, I'm looking at my prosperity cards and deciding which ones I want to buy. And you're going to have 3 of them. You can always sell them back to the game. So if I bought this one, I would be able to sell it for half. So I would get 3 back if I sold it again. And you can exchange it for something else. So I'm just, flipping them out and looking at them and maybe sorting them based on cost. Obviously, these ones are too expensive for me. These don't ever get shuffled or anything, so there's no worries about that. We have some of them that are only worth 1. There's a lot of them that are worth 3. Here's another 2. There's a 5. There's a 1. So that's the entire deck, right? Um, these ones are all off the table, these 3, because I'm starting with only 4 points, right? So I'm either taking 4 gold or I'm spending some combination of these for 4 points. I literally could buy these, but remember there's only 3 of them. So I could buy, 2 of these and 2, right? So that'd be 4 points worth. And that's what I'm strongly considering. Like, and you could always sell them later. Obviously, these ones sell for nothing. But these ones I would at least get 1 point back. So let's look at the most expensive ones first and work our way down. Start the game with an additional cavalry and build time 3. This is helpful. Military is one of the strong ways of... so this is, for example, the Warfront cards. Military is a very strong way of... This is the Warfront. If the Warfront ever gets to here, we're in big trouble. And very likely going to lose the game. So you need to... we can go to war and support the Emperor. And what that says is if we score 5 war points, which is based on our armies that we send to the battle, we can push the Warfront in the positive direction. And then, of course, there's an economic way we could support the king economically, which can support the war as well. So starting the game with a cavalry isn't horrible. Alright, then there's this one. Start the game with any level 2 knowledge, and you don't need to have a prerequisite required. That's also very good. Let's see. So that means we could start the game with any of these. And right here, you can see one of them is each of your cavalry units provide a red die instead of a blue. Just to remind you, the dice, these are the worst, better, better, and then best. So red is the best, and then it gets progressively worse. It obviously shows the best side here, but these are 4s, by the way. They're really fancy 4s. They updated the dice there. Okay, so this would upgrade your cavalry, which obviously I can't afford both of these, but if I did have both, that would be a nice little combo, wouldn't it? This lets your attacks get +1. Each of your attack rolls, not each die, just the overall count. Any amount of times during the action phase, you may discard 1 supply and 1 superior to get 1 pop. Each fortification provides 3 defense instead of 2. That's very helpful because we get attacked a lot. Each of your pikemen provides you with 4 defense instead of 2. Again, very similar. Discarding a material to expedite grants you 3 building progressions instead of 2. There's a way you could rush your production. So this would allow us to build buildings. If you're spending a stone, normally you get to move 2 buildings quicker. Now you can do 3. Each of your population provides you with 1 defense. Any amount of times during the action phase, you may discard 3 supply to get 2. Normally it's 2 for 1. Gain a council advisor or commander from your faction, not a core advisor or ally. That is really good, actually. Gain a Serpent's Wild card from the center board and build it. That can be good as well. Basically, you get to start the game with that. The recruit advisor thing is really nice. Because advisors from the start of the game can be really good. Okay, yeah, I'm getting enamored. This one, reroll symbols may count as 2 true marks instead. At the start of the game, you get to look at the first 3-year events and rearrange them. Start the game with any level 1 knowledge. So for 1 more, you get level 2. Swordsmen are now red dice instead of blue. Gain an additional true mark to your caravan results. Gain an additional true mark to your total result for each supply sold. That's material, that's supply. Start of the game, see the 6th year and last year. We looked at those. Your starting treasury gains an extra gold, so you just get more to start the game. More at the start. You may choose both options for the Civil Decree Year event. Ooh, what's the Civil Decree Year event? Must be something in here. Here, we'll shuffle these. Let's look. Productive year, civil decree. Okay, there's several civil decrees. You get both. Interesting. After collecting your starting treasury, you get 2 materials in your fortification. And start with 3, which is basically 3 attack points. So we could do a 2 and then 2 of these and have all 3 of them filled out. So we're getting 3 bonuses. Or we can just spend it all on just 1 bonus. Which is better? I honestly don't know the answer to that question. If I played this a lot, I would probably have a better idea. Having the ability to see what's coming is always important. Having bonuses to the beginning of the game, also important. Being able to take both sides of a bountiful year are nice, but it's possible you could get screwed and not have the cards show up. This has 9 cards in the deck, and there's only 6 that are going to be drawn. So it's possible that the 3 that don't get drawn could be the card that you're looking for. Possible, but not likely. Just straight up getting extra resources at the start of the game is never horrible. Getting a level 2 knowledge is still the most attractive to me because, see, this is the amount of gold it costs to buy them. And there's a couple of things going on. The first one, it takes you have to build to level 1 and then build to level 2 and then have enough gold to buy one of these. So it's usually mid-game by the time you get a level 2 technology. And we're literally saying, hey, I'm going to start the game with a level 2 technology. And I think that the Recruit Advisor one is just too good to pass up. And so we would have this one here at the start of the game, and there it is, knowledge level 2. So there's my 4 points. I can leave these cards here. I don't have to move them. And so the Recruit Advisor says, gain a council advisor or commander from your faction, which means that I'm not getting this advisor here. I'm just getting an advisor for my faction. And I know that took a lot, but that's a big, big decision in this game. So then, which faction are we going to be? Well, I can tell you with certainty, I love the trade faction. And I also really like the banking faction, which is this one. This one I have not played yet, and I keep avoiding it because I haven't played it. But they look neat. There's nothing wrong with them. This one can be really powerful. But my lesson learned from the last time we played is a strong military faction is a good one to start the game with. Military helps you to push back and fight, and basically keep them at bay while we're trying to get those initial victory points. The lowest victory points are required to survive this one, and then the more economic ones should come later. So I'm thinking of, let's do this faction here, and I'm going to drag them down. So we're doing the Apex Pyre. Now these 3 things are your stance tokens, and it's okay to reveal them. In a multiplayer game, you keep these secret, and you're going to only choose one. No one's gonna care. And then our villagers start on here, and I like the way they did this. So in the past, it was written on the board, you would take the token off. Now, when you spend your villager, you just flip it over. So that's really cool. I like that. That's a nice upgrade. This is your caravan token. It just goes out when your caravans go out. So I'm just going to put that there. And then this, we gotta sort these out. So we have, this is our starting commander, or king, if you will. He's Captain Leon Pyre. When the game begins, add either an archer or pillager unit to your standing army. So we're going to put him here. We start the game with him. And because we have this, I get to recruit an advisor right away, which is really cool. So then we have a level 1 and a level 2. Now these are upgrades to our commander. And those happen when we do this. So once this becomes level 1, we get the level 1 advisor. And then we get the level 2 advisor. And then eventually we get some income. And they changed this. They used to put it up here, and I thought that meant you get it during the income phase, and they removed it from the income bar, which, good job, guys. I actually think that's more clear. Okay, and then we have units. So there's the War Ballista, Expert Archers, Inquisitors, Skilled Archers, Pillagers, and then Archers. Now, here you can see that the Skilled Archers and Inquisitors are the Era 1, or when you get to level 1, you're going to unlock these, and when you get to level 2, you're going to unlock those. And then these are the ones we unlock. So I get to pick one right now. So the Pillagers have 1 defense value each time you use them in a campaign, which means we're attacking somebody. In the following end harvest, we gain a stone. So these ones you want to use to attack. Archers are good for defense. Well, actually, their defense is the same. During invasion, if you defend with the archers, we get to roll the green die and add it to that 1 defense. So these are going to help us to defend better. Which one do I want to start the game with? It's a great question. See, we could always pillage. I'm actually, well, let's keep going. I don't have to decide yet. So now we're getting into our advisors here. So advisor 1 is Hadrian. Immediately gain 5 fortifications, ignoring your fortification max. Reiner. Once per game, you may discard 2 units from your standing army to fulfill the grain requirements. Once per round, up to 3 times per game, you can foresee the current year. And you get extra hinterland space. Recover a population, then place 4 supplies from the bank on this card. Supply on this card can only be used to expedite units. Oh, that's sort of cool. And then we have the bad-tempered general. So each of his rolls get a -1. But he rolls a red die, which is the best in the game. So even though it's a -1, it's sort of like a blue die, if you think about it. Double looming threat rewards gained. So basically, if we're attacking a looming threat, which are these. So if I'm attacking this type of card, these are the rewards you see. He gets to double them. Now, he doesn't get to double the gems, but like this here is 5 gold. He would get to double he'd get 10 gold if he was a part of this. So, the other thing that we need to do is the final year is the 9th year. So I'm going to move these quest cards out of the way. Final year is the 9th year. And then on year 3, we're going to get Kingdom Advancement. And on year 6, that's the end of the first age. I mean, you can look at them. They're always the same. Here we're going to gain advisors and allies. Here we're going to get resolve our quests. And then this is just end game instructions. So let me shuffle this as well. So I'm going to take a pillager. And the way this works is if you have no armies, you get to roll 2 gray dice. And by covering this up, I now get to roll one gray die and one green one. And I'm going to take the general. So we're going to go army focus here at the start. So this general is the free advisor that I took. So we're going to have him at the start of the game. Now, if I go on a campaign, which is attacking, I get 2 defense, and then for every campaign I do, I gain money. Here, this is defense. I would get 5, and I get +1 to my die roll, and so forth. Alright, let's finish setting up the game. So for era 1, we shuffled these cards already. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're going to do 7, 8, and then the game ends at 9. So we don't get to draw 10, 11, and 12. These 4 cards are never in the game. They're just out for me showing you. So in this first deck, there are at least 3 of these. And there's at least 2 of those, I think. And then, of course, we have a mix of these as well. Then in the year 2 deck, there's only going to be 2 of these because this is the 3rd one. And you can see there's 2 that are not being used, and there's 3. And I definitely can't look at them. That would give me a hint to what's in here. So one of the toughest challenges in the game is I don't know what's underneath these cards. So I don't know if I'm being attacked. I don't know if I'm having a productive year. I don't know. And so that's the reason why you do things that let you peek. And of course I've ignored those. Like right here at the start of the game, I can look at the 6th and last year, which means I would have been able to flip this card and that one and at least see what's going on both of those years. Alright. So we're almost done with the setup here. The other thing I need to do is we have to draw 3 quest cards, and we have to choose our quest. Now a quest is something that's going to go here, and we have until the end of the 6th year to resolve our quest. So it also dictates your starting resources. So for example, we can have a merchant colony. I'm going to pick on this one first. I would start with 3 gold and 4 material, and my township province needs to be level 3 in order for me to fulfill the quest. If I fulfill the quest, I get to choose 5 gold, some material and supplies, and 2 population. So I would start the game with township level 1, which means I'm going to gain a 1 gold income right from the start of the game. And I would need to get this to level 3, which means I would need 3 towns to get to 2. Then I would need 2 blue technologies and 3 more towns to get that to 3. I would have to have all that done by the end of the year 6. This is a bit of a tall order, especially since I went a little on the military side. Now this one requires you to have 2 military technologies. So, we have a possibility of doing this one. And then we would start the game with some resources. So this is very doable. And then over here, we also start with the same technology, but this one I need resources level 2, township level 1, and then I need to have done at least 2 trade routes. I've done this actually in my last playthrough last year. I remember that. We're going to choose the military one. So those 2 quests are out of the game. So what we do is we put that here. Our resources automatically starts at level 1. So we're going to get a stone during the harvest phase as income. And then we need to have watchtowers and bolstered forts, which are going to cost us 5 gold for both of them. And one of these is a level 1 and the other one's a level 2, if you'll notice. So that means I need to have this promoted to level 2. Now what I could have done, I technically still can, is instead of taking recruit advisor, I could just take the bolstered forts right now as part of this. And I would make it so I'm going to actually satisfy this, but I'm not going to do that. I actually think this is a good goal to shoot for. And then it says that we start with 4 gold. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And by the way, 2 silver equals 1 gold. So these are like half golds. 1, 2. and then we get one of these, which is it just like if you're rolling a dice, it's just like adding one to your results. Okay, so remember, we can't let this go to the end. We're going to draw cards, build structures. It's going to take a certain number of years for those structures to finish. Once they finish, we can then use them to upgrade our kingdom. And this is also the same way you get, like this is a cavalry unit. If I had this flipped around, like the card could be used for either side. If I built this, this would end up in my army. Okay, so there's a build phase. There's an action phase. We can speed these. This is going to take 4 years. I could spend one of these to take any combination of buildings, not units, but buildings, and I get to basically rush them 2 spaces. Or I can take 2 different ones and rush them 1 space each. But it's a total of two spaces. If I spend both of these, I can do any combination, four bumps. I can feed my population, which is 2 of these. Will let me, if I had a population expended, I can get my population back. I can fortify, which means I'm putting stones in my fortification. And right now you can see it's a 0. And then whenever it levels up, I can have 3. So that's your capacity. Right now I can have 2. Now some cards let you break that, but that's the general gist. And if you're wondering about more details for it, they have a wonderful, wonderful. This is the build phase, and we'll go through this when we take our turns. These are all the actions we get to do. We can set up a trade route. Then you choose a stance, and then we resolve the events, which are these cards out here. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's rock and roll. I'm gonna pause real quick. Then we'll rock and roll. All right, I am back. Let's get ready to rock and roll. So another change they made from last year is it was unclear when this got filled in. They definitely clarified that it gets filled in at the start of the game. And in a multiplayer game, every player gets to draw 3 of these, but then you do a draft to see which ones, so whoever's going to go first drafts first, but then it's like a snake draft. So then whoever goes last gets to pick 2 of them, and then it goes, back and forth. Well, anyways, the Emperor is going to have 3 cards in his hinterlands, which is, think of this as like your hand. You're not actually going to hold these cards in your hand. They're going to be, they're terrain that is outside of the scope of your kingdom, but still partially protected by you. You still consider it to be yours, but it's not inside the heartland. Anyways, the Emperor draws his 3 cards, and then in a solo game, you simply just get to pick whichever ones you want. We get to pick the 3 that we want to start the game with. So our goal or objective is we definitely need a barracks to upgrade this, because that's how we're going to accomplish our quest. So first thing I want to do is I want to find a barracks out here, and I see 0 barracks. These are some troops. There's a town and a field, a swordsman in a field, a manor and a quarry, another field, and a town. So we didn't get what we're looking for here. If I do get 4 of those, I can start making supplies. This is actually a really difficult one to do, although we have 3 of the 4 fields we could start the game with here. Well, I think I want to start with, let's do a manor, and see, it has a number 4 on it, so we put it into the 4. That means it's going to take 4 years to build. So there's our first build, and then our second build, I'm going to go ahead and do, so we have, I definitely don't want that. Let's do a swordsman. So we're going to get another soldier going. Now, I already have 2 of these, so I do satisfy this already. But if I want to get to the next level, I need 4. And in fact, I think I'm going to do it this way. We're going to get 2 more going right from the start. But I will keep this one as my 3rd card. And I'll let these be his. Now, I could. So we draw 3, build 2. That's what we just did. This whole draft thing was just a start of the game thing. I can always spend a gem to buy a wild card, which I don't have any gems. I'm allowed to spend a peasant and 2 of my material to build another card. So right now we're building 2 of them. If I wanted to build this one as well, I can choose to spend this and 2 of those. I'm not sure I want to at the moment. It doesn't gain me anything. So then once we're done, we progress. And progress is as simple as selecting everything and they just move 1 notch down. So in 2 years, this will finish. Next up is we can do expedite. We can do our actions. So we can spend supplies to move those troops. Or we can spend material to move any buildings. Right now we have 2 troops and 1 building. And I have no supplies, so I can't rush these. I could spend this to rush this, but there's... you know what? I am going to build this. So it would be technically here. It would have started here, but it would have moved down. So we are going to flip one of these and spend our 2 supply. Because what I'm going to do is this is a wild card. So I can spend this along with that to upgrade this. Alright. Oh, sorry. That is my son. Okay. We can buy knowledge during this step. We can set up a trade route. Now, the buying knowledge, the only knowledge we can buy is the resources. This, by the way, is not built. So we can only get this or this at the moment. And down here, and it costs gold, which we don't have. I mean, we have some. We have 4 gold. We could technically buy the watchtowers. It lets us get some fortifications going. That is actually one of the things we need. So, yeah, let's do it. I'll spend 2. Oh, nope. I can only do that if I... Oh, no, that's a resources. Oh. These are resource upgrades. That's this, not this. Let me think this through. I actually needed that quarry right there. That's fine. We can do it that way. So there we go. We're going to get our watchtowers going. So when we get that technology, it says store 2 additional fortifications, and then we gain 2. So all it's saying is I can have 4 instead of 2. And we have 2 right now. Okay. I'm glad we clarified that. So it's not this that I need to upgrade, it's the resources I need to upgrade. So we got 1/2 of the quest done already. And they gave us one of the technologies already, so we got to get this to level 2. And then have our forts... to get our fortifications up to 5 strength? Yeah, we still have to upgrade this. That still needs to be done. Okay. Alright, back to regularly scheduled programming. Now we have to choose a stance. Now this is where it gets tough. We're built to attack. But if I do attack, see this little picture here? I would send these two out to attack something, and it's going to take them, they're going to go into the 3 queue, which means it's going to take them several years to return. Like, attacking is not an instantaneous business. If I use them to defend, they show up here. Now, what can I attack right now? The only thing I can attack is the front line, which I do need to do. It is possible as these get revealed, there's going to be a card like this, which I can attack. So if I attack right away, then I'm locking my cards up for a bit. I could attack this right away, but see, I need a 5 strength. It is possible because he's rolling a red die. A red and a green is... that's a 4 and a 3. 7 is the best I could do. And I need 5. And remember, I have to subtract 1 from my roll. Like, I actually got a 7 that time. That one is a 2. I'm hitting the R button. That's a 4. And then I would have to reduce that to make it a 3. So, anyways, and you can only send out 2 units when you do an attack, by the way. Now, had I gotten, let's say, a 3 out of this, right, because I have to subtract 1, I can do what's called a draw, where I at least get a gold and one of these for my trouble. And I can also spend this to add 1. And I have to choose to spend it before I roll, though, so bear that in mind. And the reason I'm bringing all this up is I'm deciding, am I going to attack now, or am I going to go do this, which is more of a resource-oriented one? And I think I'm going to do this. Now, if I attack, I do gain a gold. So it's not the end of the world for attacking. But I'm going to do this. So we're going to gain some extra resources. It is year 1, and if they attack me on year 1, I'm just going to have to eat it. So let's do it. So I chose my stance, and now we're going to resolve things. And so here you can see we reveal our stance, which in our case is we're going to do resource stance. If you're in attack stance, you resolve your campaign, which is here. This is how you resolve campaigns. You resolve your caravan token, and then we resolve the event. Special cards, and then we resolve the event after the special cards. Apologies. And then in solo mode, we would deal with the Warfront card, and then we gain our income, which they call harvest. Makes total sense, right? So I have there's no event card. That's what these are. So we're on year 1, so we don't have to worry about those. There's no campaigns because I didn't choose this. We're not defending either. This is a harvest thing. So without further ado, we flip. And we got a good one. This is a productive year. So we are in resource mode, so we gain a gem and 2 gold. So we're going to get 2 gold and a gem in our empire. So that's good. And then we got to resolve the Warfront card. Let me shuffle those first. So what they're going to do is they're moving 2 this way. And then Defiance. If this card triggers Last Stand, we get a +2 to our defense roll. Which we're not doing, so we're fine. Okay, and then last thing we do is our harvest. Now normally we would generate 1 material, but because this is here, I'm also going to generate a second material and a silver, which remember is half a gold. And that's it. That's all that did for me. Now technically it did more. It got me the bonus here. But this is where it's nice to know what's underneath these cards, because then you could plan better. So with that said, we survive year one. And then we rinse and repeat. We go to year two. So year two, we're going to draw 3 more cards. 1, 2, 3. Here's a barracks that we're looking for. So we're going to go ahead and flip that around. That's going to be one of our builds. And there's the manor I was trying to do before. This one is a special building. When this enters your territory, you can move 3 buildings. You can basically accelerate 3 buildings towards completion. I'm going to choose this one. Get a barracks and a manor going. And then this is going to go into our draw pile. And then because of this, I'm choosing to flush this one. And then move these over like so. Now, one of the features is I can always pay a gold to take one of these and build it. Now remember, I'm still restricted to just building 2, and if I want to build more than 2, I'm going to have to do other shenanigans, but that's my build. Then we move these down, and there we go. We just finished this whole section. Next, we can expedite. Remember, we can spend these to do expediting. I don't have any of these, so I can't expedite those. Well, that's a great question. Do I want to expedite? What else? Now, if I do a caravan, I need 4 resources. You can see that here. And it has to be a combination of these and these, so I don't have enough to even do a caravan right now. If I were to level this up, I'm going to gain 2 of these every income phase. So I'm going to spend my 2 to hurry this along. One of them is going to do this, and any other one's going to do that. And I'm going to spend this as an iron mine. And so they go here in my territory, but I'm going to spend them right away to get these 2 symbols to upgrade that to level 2. So now, without putting a guy here, I'm going to get 2 instead of 1. I had to put a guy here to get 2 last time. Now I don't have to. So that's my strategy for improving this. But yes, I had to burn through all that in the meantime. And then also, I think I forgot to spend my 3 gold to buy this. I shouldn't have 4 gold at the moment. Well, hold on, maybe I do. That event card gave me 2 gold. I started the game with 4. Oh, yeah. I'm good. That is how many I'm supposed to have. Because I started with 4, I got 2 for 6. And then I spent 3, that dropped me down to 3. And somehow or another I got another gold some other way. Did I? I started with 4. I gained 2 more here for 6. I spent 3, so I should be at 3. Unless there's some other way I got a gold out of this. I don't think there is. Okay. I know I got this from the income. We're good, we're good. It's a lot to keep track. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this. We're doing this piece. I am now at level 2. So I can buy this for 3. Which is what I need to fulfill my quest. And I will do exactly that. I'm going to spend 3. So now what this is saying is normally these bricks will prevent 2 damage. Now, the bricks are going to prevent 3 damage. That's what that's saying. So I can prevent 6 damage with these 2 bricks that are here instead of 4 damage. Okay, can't do a caravan yet, and I gotta decide my stance again. Now this is where it gets tricky. I still need to help here. I don't have anything to attack out here. The only thing I have to attack so far in the game is this. And my odds of winning are still poor. If I use them to attack, I gain a stone. So it's almost like a form of income. The blue dice are going to be better for attacking than the green. I'm going to attack. And the way, see, this is if you lose. Yeah, so there's no rewards on this. Well, I guess since I get to double it, that means this would move twice instead of once. Man, I want to attack. I just don't think I should yet. But the awesome part is this quest is completed. So when we get to here, each player discards their quest. If they've completed it, they gain its reward. So we gotta wait a while before we get the reward, but we're gonna get one of those 3 things. Our choice. What stance am I gonna choose? They could always attack me. If I choose a defense stance, I gain nothing from a resource perspective. And if they don't actually attack me, then it's almost like a waste. And right now, if they did attack me, it's only going to be a strength 2 attack. Because the strength is based on the threat level. Well, actually it's going to be a 2 plus 1. It's going to be a 3. 3 strength attack. And like I said, if I attack something, I'm going to gain a gold just for doing it. And if I use this guy, I'm going to gain a gold and a material. So it's almost like it's rewarding me for attacking. I just wish there was something here for me to attack. That's sort of what I'm waiting for. So with that said, I guess I'm going to do this then. Now, I could get more material, but I'm going to go over here and we're going to get a supply. And this could be a mistake, but let's find out. So we move into the reveal your event. We're not doing anything here. We're not campaigning. So we'll reveal this. And it's another civil card. So we can gain 2 cards and a supply, or exhaust a villager and gain 3 material. I'm going to gain the 2 cards and a supply. So I'm going to do that, and then we gain 1, 2. We got ourselves a quarry and a barracks, which will go in our hand here. And that's good. And then we reveal this. This is Serpent's Aid. So we're going to place this in build Q3, and whenever it's built, we get a push of 2 to the left. And we can expedite it as if it was a troop. So we could spend these to expedite it if we want. That's good, because the good news is this isn't moving to the right. Alright, and then we get to collect our income. So here you can see I'm getting 2 material. And then here I'm going to gain 1 more supply. And put that back. And that's it for year 2. Now we move to year 3. So let's draw 3 cards. 1, 2, and 3. When this enters your territory, we can gain any level 1 or 2 knowledge, ignoring the requirements. So we can just gain it. That is not horrible. We have another troop. We have a barracks. After completing a caravan, foresee 1 year event. This is like a forever thing, so every time you complete a caravan, you get to foresee something. That's not much different than you can grab one of these tokens too. And then, of course, we have these. Oh, I get to destroy this. Now they have 3 identical cards. Remember, I still have to pay a gold if I want to use those, but they are available to me. And I can build these as well. So what do I want to do? Well, I have my 2. If I get 2 of these, I can upgrade this to level 3. So I'm going to go ahead and build that for 1. And see, I have a manor going through. I need another manor to get that upgraded. I don't think there is another manor out here. This library is almost too good to pass up. So I'm going to go ahead and build that as my 2. And the barracks here would be nice. But we're going to go ahead and put these here. And I'm going to discard this card. Because my hinterlands can only have 3 cards in it. So there we go. And then we grab all of our cards and we produce. So these 2 cards are now available. And now I have myself 4 troops in my army. And we can expedite. So we could spend these material to get this going. And I'm going to do exactly that. Am I? I have enough to do a caravan now. It might be nice to get a caravan going. At any point in the game, you can always spend 2 gold to get a resource. I just don't have the 2 gold at the moment. So let's say I did spend one of these. I would be able to rush this along, and I'd be able to upgrade this, which does give me a silver for income for the rest of the game, and makes it so I can have more bricks in here. I think I'm going to leave it be for now. Yeah, I'll leave it be. And then for my action, I am going to build a caravan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 of these in it and 2 of these. And then caravans are simple. We're currently in year 3, so you just put it on the year 4. So when we resolve the year 4 event, the caravan will return. And you can see that here. When we reveal our stance in year 4, we resolve the campaigns and then we resolve the caravan. And in a multiplayer game, the other players could attack your caravan. So that's one of the possible options. So that's the reason why the caravan's after the campaign. But so next year, if our caravan's still alive, we'll be able to. Well, they're always alive, if you will. If it's undamaged, we'll be able to resolve it. And to be more clear, even if it is damaged, you still resolve it. It's just, anyways, you want it to be undamaged. Where I'm going. And I think I'm going to use an attack stance. And you put it here when you're playing a multiplayer game to show that you're ready. Of course, you would put it like this. And then once everybody has their thing there, then it's 1, 2, 3, reveal. So we're going to do something new, of course. We're in year 3. And I'm going to send this and this. So our 2 swordsmen that we just got are going to go on the mission. And we're going to attack the front line. So we resolve that here. And just to help you out, when you're doing a campaign, you're only allowed to send 2 units. I cannot send more than 2. That's part of my dilemma. If there's a double campaign, you can do 4, but that's not the case here. and then it goes into build queue position 3, which is what we did. So we're either attacking the hinterland of another player, so then we roll our dice against their dice. So they select 2 units in their army, and they roll their dice, right? Or we're attacking a card, so we roll our dice, and we compare it to the card, which is more or less what this mode is. And this is when they're attacking us, and then this is how to resolve caravans. But we're doing the equivalent of this. So we're going to roll 2 blue dice. And we need to have, see right here, we need to have a value of 5 or better to win. If we get a 0 to a 4, we lose and we get a consolation prize. And you can see that represented here. This is our 0 to 4. This is our 5. This is a draw, which is not an option in ours. It's either we're winning or we're losing. But losing is still quote-unquote winning in a way. So rolling 2 blue dice to get a 5 or better is not a guarantee. This is still going to be a challenge, but we're going to try it. And I only got a 3. So I could have spent this. I did not. So I'm going to get this as a consolation prize. We're going to get a gold as a consolation prize. And because we went and did a campaign, we're going to get another gold. Like that. That was technically... No, yeah, it's not income. It's just part of doing the campaign. So we failed. So this does not move in the positive direction that we wanted. And that's fine. We've got 2 gold for it. So it's almost like setting them to do income somewhere. Okay, now that we've resolved that, we would resolve caravans. There's nothing to resolve. Not till next turn. And so then we reveal our event, and it's an invasion. So sure enough, we could have defended ourselves. So the invasion is going to be strength 3. And then this makes it a 4. We have no defense. Well, we have 2 defenses, actually. We have 2 defenses right here. Since we did an attack, we get 2. This is 3, and this is 4. So we actually... Now I have to put these into the defend section, which is here. But by doing so, we completely repelled the invasion. Now, if I would have had... Victory Parade, this one, if you suffer no damage, you get to recover a population. That's not the case, but we did successfully repel the invasion, which is good. Before we did this, we were supposed to resolve this. So it says each player gains a council advisor or commander at the choice from the faction. And then in the solo mode, we're going to gain an ally. Now, it could be from a faction we previously played. This is our first year, our first game. So there is no faction, so we're going to have to choose our ally from this deck of cards right here. But let's first focus on our ally. We already have one. That's this guy. But these are not available. It's one of these 4. And I don't know which one I want. Actually, I think this one's going to help me with my goal. Immediately gain 5 fortifications from the bank. But see, then he does nothing else for me the rest of the game. This one, at least once per round, you can foresee the current year event. And your hinterland can store more, so we can start to see into the future. This is I can discard armies to upgrade my fields. And then we can recover a population and get 4 free supplies, which can be used to expedite units. They're all good in their own way. This helps me. So technically I don't have my quest satisfied. See, my quest requires 5 fortifications. I only have 2. Let's see, that'll allow me to get to 3. This allows me to get +2. So actually, I can get to 5 with this. I can normally have 3, but this allows me to move it up to 5. So I can do it on my own. We're on year 3, so I got time. So I don't need to... This is brute forcing it, and I don't think I need to. I actually think being able to scout is a good idea. So what they want you to do is it's 3 times per game. I can look at the current year event. So we can do that before we choose our stance. Like in this case, this surprised us, right? So I can look at, some future year and not get surprised so much. Like I said, there's 3 invasions in the deck. 3 cards weren't chosen. It is possible that all 3 of these could have been invasions, but we got one of them here. So 2 other ones out of the remaining, there's 2 invasions in the remaining here. So, yeah, I like that choice. Now let's choose from these. Now this is new. They did not have this in the game before. So first one. When a campaign including Dryath achieves victory, or Draith, against the front line, you get 1 additional warfront reduction. So basically, this guy joins your army, and if you use him to campaign here, he rolls a blue die, and we actually get 2 bumps. That's not a bad one. Immediately gain some resources. When you complete a caravan, you can spend a gold to get a bump. That's really good if you have a caravan, a lot of caravans going. Immediately gain 2 fortifications. After each invasion during which you suffer no damage, reduce the warfront by 2. Now this is where this is important. The advisor was supposed to happen before we flipped this over. So technically I would not have known that we were going to get invaded, but this would have meant that we get a bump of 2 in our favor. Immediately gain 2 of those during a direct assault or last stand. When you roll for defense, you may roll 2 blue instead of dice from your units. For the 2nd, 4th, 6th, 8th, and 10th knowledge you gain, and have gained, so this is if you're going for a bunch of knowledge, right? Those are pretty cool. Now, one thing about this game that always confused me, it says when you roll for your defense. When you are... See, when you're defending, so we're adding up all their threat, right? And we add up our defense. That's all you do, is you just add up your defense. You don't roll any dice. Not unless your card tells you to. But I think what's going on is a direct assault So if we're looking at the solo mode here, see, this is a direct assault. Roll 2 red dice, then roll your defense against this attack. All rules apply to your defender, except that you do not roll gray dice to gain silver if you win. What? Campaign step 3B. Oh, that's right, here, because if you're a defender, you pick 2 units in the army. Gray dice if you're lacking any units. If you win, you gain silver for each gray die you rolled. And the attacker gets a consolation prize. But see, this is only when they're attacking your hinterland. So what they're trying to say is that the direct assault is resolved like the way your hinterland assaults are done. The only difference is you don't gain anything if you win. And if you lose the last stand, you lose the entire game. Which, of course, is why we don't want a last stand to occur. Alright. That's probably the most confusing part. Is sometimes you use the dice, sometimes you don't. But anyways, it's not too bad once you think it through. Okay, knowing what I know, this would have been, or this guy would have been the best option, because we would have advanced the warfront by 2 because we suffered no damage. Now, one thing I will tell you is, as you know, I was thinking of brute forcing, because we have a campaign objective to have 5 here. If I take this guy, I gain 2 towards my goal. So, without knowing I'm being invaded, this still would have been a nice one because that helps me with my campaign goal. The only other one I would strongly have considered, like this one, we're choosing a military route, so it's this guy. Because now, if he does an assault and he wins, we push it by 2. He's rolling a blue die. He's really no different than these swordsmen. But the swordsmen failed at their quest. So here's my dilemma. I don't know what I would have taken. Like, now that I know what I know, this is clearly the winner. And now that I know what I know, I could easily justify him because my quest requires us to have 5 bricks in here, and he would give me 2, which would give me to 4. I only need 1 more brick to satisfy my quest, so I would have chosen him. But I also really like the idea of winning these assaults. So, what are all the sides on this die? So there's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. There's 3 sides that have a 2 on them, and there's 3 sides that don't have a 2 on them. So I'm going to resolve it the old-fashioned way. If I roll a 2, we're taking this one. If I roll something that's not a 2, we're taking that one. Right, we're taking this one. And that's it. And he doesn't really go here because he's different. But there you go. We got our ally chosen. And then, yes, this would have been revealed, and then blah, blah, blah. And then I've been like, oh, shoot, I should have picked this guy. That's that's exactly how that would have gone. And anyways, there you go. Our ally has been chosen. Alright, so we did an assault stance. So nothing more to do there. Did we do the warfront one? I don't believe we did. So, because this was a while ago. Yeah, so now we got to resolve this. So here you can see Raiders. It's going to move 1 more. Then place this and build Q4. Now, I can assault this card. And if I get a 4 or better, I discard the card. Okay, so we're done with that. And then we do our harvest. So here we get 2. And we already grabbed our gold. I think that's it for the harvest. So now we move on to year 4. So 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to use this. We're going to use our thing. We're going to foresee what's coming this year. So we got a looming threat coming. I can't attack that right now because I don't know that that's... I mean, I know it's coming, but I can't, like, treat it like it's already there. So this is one of the two that we need. Here's the 2 of the 2. So we're going to go ahead and get that in there. So that's one of our 2 builds. We can get another swordsman or work on towns and fields. Like, we have a ton of things. Like, this one's going to get discarded. I get to build one more thing. I could build a swordsman. I mean, we are going nuts with our troops, aren't we? I don't really want to build another swordsman, so let's get a town going, even though it's only one of many towns. And I'm going to get rid of... Oh, you know what? I'm going to get a barracks going. Not the town. You can always build from here. And then this is the card we're going to discard. There we have it. So now we take everything, progress it. And we can expedite. So I can spend these to rush a barracks, for example. I would have to spend supplies to rush this. I'm not going to rush anything. I think I'm going to leave it where it is. I'm okay. I mean, the fact that this threat is coming out is not good, but it at least makes me feel okay to know that even though I don't have any military or serious defenses in place, I'm going to be fine. So, with that said, I have to pick my stance. I know I don't need to do this. This I can't do. I don't have 2 troops, so we're going to just do this. And what do I want to do? Do I want to get more materials? Do I want to get some supplies? I think this is our better bet. Let's get some more materials going. That'll let us speed some stuff. And also we need materials to build our defenses for our quest. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay. Sorry, I just got interrupted. I think, yeah, I chose my stance. And so, yeah, now we resolve this. So there's no campaign, but we do resolve the caravan. Our caravan is here, and it resolves first. And here you can see we have 2 supplies and 2 supplies, 2 material. It came in undamaged. So what we do is we roll dice. Green dice for each material, blue dice for each supply. And if it's damaged in any way, you roll 2 gray dice. Then for each true mark rolled, we gain 1 silver. And then we can choose a trade route in the center board and add it to one of our trade routes and gain the effect. So here's what I mean by that. So we're going to get to roll 2 blue because of the 2 supplies, 2 green because of the 2 material, and we add it all up. So we got a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That was a fantastic. So we get 10 silver from our caravan. Remember, 1 silver is a half a gold, so I'm just going to give myself 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gold. That was fantastic. Then, optionally, we're allowed to take one of these, and we get the reward right away. And then we also get it every time a caravan finishes in the future. So I'm going to actually take this one. Now, I'll explain why in a second. So this takes one of the 4 spots. So if our caravan ever finishes again, we get this again and again and again. Every time a caravan comes back, we're going to get this. And then every time a caravan comes back, we can add one more, up to 4 of them. So by the time the 4th caravan comes back, we're collecting 4 things. Now, they're pretty straightforward. This one lets us peek at a potential upcoming year. This one's going to let me put 1 brick in a fortification, which is our quest, and gain a attack point, so we can help ourselves when we attack next time. This one is just straight up get 2 coins, 2 gold coins. This one you gain a population. This one you gain a gem. The only restriction is I'm never allowed to have more than 1 of these. I can have multiples of anything else though. Now these increase my threat though, so when I'm invaded, like what would happen earlier, I have to add this to their invasion strength, because if I have these special trade routes, then I guess it's more juicy of an invasion, so they're going to attack me with more forces. Neither of these increase the invasion points though, and I'm choosing this one because I need this anyways, so that gives me a free bump to there. And remember, I can exceed this number because I have this. And it lets me gain another attack point. So now I can use that to get a win. Okay, so that's the beauty of the trade route. You get a lot of money, which is very helpful, and you get this. Now remember, we're at level 2 on the resources, so we can always, if we allocated a worker, we gain an extra material. This one, you may discard 1 supply, 1 material, recover a population, but we got everything else we can get. We're going to eventually be able to buy one of these as soon as this upgrades, but it hasn't upgraded yet. So anyways, for now we're just holding onto our money. Okay, so now that this is done, we reveal the year event, which is this one. And we know what this is. So this is something we can attack. If we send an attack crew here and we get a 5 or better, we're going to gain a gem. And we also gain this, the 2 gold, 1. And you just put this on to represent that this here, if you draw, it can only be collected once. Obviously, when you win, you destroy the card, or it's out of the game. But if you just win the first time you're here, you get the gem and the 2 gold and 1. If you draw, you take your 2 gold and 1, remove this, and then it stays though. So you have to beat it in order to make the card go away. And then of course if you lose, you get this as many times as you lose. It does require siege weapons, so you do need this here to be able to even do it. You have to have siege weapons. So otherwise this is going to add 5 strength to any war that comes. So pretty wild. Okay, last but not least, we do our end harvest. So here I'm going to get 2 more materials, and 1 silver and 1 material because of this. And I think I was going to do that because I can go to +2, which means I would have done that during the action phase here. I would have fortified this, because we need to get it to 5 fortification in order to hit our objective. So I'm going to spend one of these next turn to finish it out. Alright, end of year. We now move to year 5. So I'm going to do another one. I'm going to use my advisor again. We're going to reveal this one. So that it's not an invasion, which is good. And if we use a defensive stance, we can foresee, or if we use a productive stance, we're going to get another gem and 2 gold. So that's good to know. Alright, this is going to be discarded for him. And then we draw 1, 2, and 3. Here you can see another barracks and another iron. I'm going to build a barracks this time. And then we got some more troops. Or these things. Oh, I already have a barracks coming. If I upgrade this one. So see this little symbol? That's the highest you can go in a standard game. I need to play an epic game to go any higher than 3. So we have 1, 2 coming. And so once I get this to level 3, that's as high as it can go. So doing this is no good. This is going to get me to level 1. This get me to level 2. So yeah, we'll do this one to get us to level 3. So what do I want to do for my next one? I think I'm actually going to use our gem. So I'm not a fan. I have like a manor here, and I've been looking for another manor. We haven't found one, so I'm going to use a gem. And then we're going to take a Serpent's Wild here and put it there so we can get another wild card. And then as far as all this stuff goes, these are both the same, and we're going to just discard them. Keep those 3. And then everything produces. So we got all 4 of these in our territory. This one's simple. He goes here, and he goes there. This we resolve. We actually get a bump of 2 in a positive direction. And this, like I said, we need another one, so it's just going to sit there and wait. And then this, we're going to spend. We have 2 in our standing army, plus this. So I get to upgrade that. And you can see I have a natural defense of 3 right here. So that automatically makes it better. And then I have 4 of these. And we'll go ahead and discard this. And it's just like that. Now we get to do our actions. We can expedite. I am going to spend 1 of these to satisfy our quest. So we now have 5. We normally can only have 3. This gives us 2 more. So now we're at 5. And we have fully satisfied this quest. We have the 2 techs plus 5 fortifications. And we still have 2 years left to go, but we're where we want to be. And I have 3 of these left over. It would be nice to potentially do another caravan. I could rush some things along, like this guy here. That would let me get my manor going. I'm going to do that. Let's spend 1, which lets me go 1, 2, like this. I'm going to spend 1 more, which lets me finish this completely. And then I'm going to push this one down, because now both of these are going to be on the same level. And you know what? I'm going to spend 1 more to push this one and this one down. Because guess what? I have my 2 techs. I have my 2 iron. And we're going to upgrade that to level 3. And look, we're going to get more income. Why not? And look at this. We gain income from this building as well. And then these two I'm going to hand in. And we're going to upgrade this to level 1. So now I can get level 1 techs here. The university. And I can see 3 years into the future with this one. And I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to spend my 4 gold. We're going to buy foresee future. And I want to see, we already saw this one. So we're going to go 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to use our last one for her to see the 4th one. So we're getting no invasions the rest of the game. So these looming threats, while they are looming, they only hurt us if we're invaded. And you can see there's no invasions the rest of the game. That is powerful information to know. Because now we can adjust ourselves accordingly and just worry about the front line here. And then we can still invade these things if we want to get cash and prizes. But anyways, it's just very important to know. The hardest part is remembering what year we're on. Okay, so we upgraded to our level 1, I don't know what you call it, leader, king. So we have the governess now. When the game begins, we get the... It's not when the game begins, it's when you get this person. We get to add either the skilled archers or the inquisitors to our standing army. That's these two. So this one, during an invasion, if you defend, you gain a green die. The only difference is he has a 2. This one has a 1. So this one defends slightly better. We're not being invaded anymore, unless sometimes we're invaded by these cards. So it is still possible to be invaded. The Inquisitors are a blue, no different than our swordsmen. If you attack a living threat with the Inquisitors and achieve victory, gain a level 1 knowledge of your choice. So we could just gain these. Now remember, there's a limit of 10. You only have 10 total. I mean, they're nice. Like this one would be nice to have. Actually, we're buying that one too, because that's the only way we can invade those things. We already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. I'm actually going to take the archers. I think the archers are a nice, in case these cards attack us. Alright, very, very happy with that progression. Now we got to choose our stance. And remember, we have raiders here we need to destroy. Now, by winning this, the only thing we do is we destroy the raiders. That's it. There's no actual rewards or cash and prizes. Obviously, with this one, it's a similar deal. We do have a living threat we can attack. The pillagers. This is getting interesting. Yeah, this is really getting interesting. This guy benefits from... His benefit is for attacking this. His benefit is for attacking these. This one doesn't care. So let's say I'm going to attack those raiders there. It's 2 green dice. I need a 4. That's a tall order. 3 is the best I could roll on 1 green die. Let's say I add 2 to that. So let's try it. So that means we're going into campaign stance. And I can also... I could go in more than one campaign. So I can take these 2 guys and put them on this one if I wanted. I don't though. So let's go ahead and do it. We're going to roll. So we got a 3, and this would make it a 4, 5. I'm not going to re-roll this die. I think I got what I wanted. And we did. So these two go into 3 bucks because we used them to attack. This we destroyed. So we prevented them from moving to the right. And because we did a campaign, we gain a gold. Here. And I'm getting a little ahead of myself. We were supposed to do this, so yeah, let's do it. And let's reveal our event, which we already know is... I didn't do my stance. I did an attack. I was supposed to remember to do this stance. We're going to gain a gem and 2 gold. That's okay. We didn't do it. Then we do our harvest. Like I said, we get a gold for that. We get a silver and another silver, so I'm just going to make it another gold. And we gain 2 of these. That's it for income. Now, in order to upgrade this again, I need to have 3 in here, which I do, or I need a gem, which I had, but I spent it. And it's an ore. I don't need both. Okay, so that's end of our year. I've fully utilized her, but that's good. And let's start our final year. So we're going to be able to accomplish our quest and all kinds of goodness. So here's 1, 2, 3, and then keep pushing this along. There's one of the manors we were looking for, but we got it. So here's a manor. Do I need a manor again? I probably don't, but I'll take it. We're going to do a manor and then a town. Could have done a cavalry, I guess. And then... I mean, I really could produce even more troops. But I'm going to leave it at that. Now, I could do this and spend 2 of these to build more things. What more things would I build, though? I don't know. I'm only got 1 of 3 towns that I need to upgrade this. There's a second town here and a third town there. I mean, I could build 2 of these cards, but I don't have enough of these. I'd have to spend all my money, which I could do. Yeah, let's do it. So I'm going to build 1 town. So I've already built my 2 items. I'm building a town and another town, right? So that means I got to flip 2 of these, and I got to spend 2 of those for this one. And then it cost me 2 gold to get 1. There's 2 gold, and then there's 1, 2 gold for the other one. So I just spent 4 materials and 2 peasants to get extra towns in. And then here we go. We push everything down. This lets us gain any level 1 or 2 knowledge. And it counts as a gem at the end of the game, which is points. Gems are points. And then we have our 2 swordsmen available. And first thing we got to do is this. We get a level 2 knowledge. This helps us with our attacks. And we're doing a lot of attacks at the moment. This helps with defense. We already have that. That'll give us a wild card. We already have one of those. I'm actually going to do this one. We want the attack roll +1. And guess what stance we're going to use? Aha! We're going to use the attack stance. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to attack with our armies here. We're going to gain 2 gold for that. But getting a little ahead of myself, what else do I need to do? I was going to send out another caravan, but as you can tell, we're not ready for that. So yeah, we're going to end that here, and then we're in attack stance, so let's do our campaigns. So campaign 1 is going to be this guy and a swordsman. And then we're going to have campaign 2 is this guy and a swordsman. So they're both going to be paired up with a swordsman. And this one is going to attack the looming threat. And this one is going to attack here. And then the front line, I'm going to give him the attack bonus for the front line. So this is 2 blue dice. Let's rock and roll. I'm not liking the roll at all. I rolled a horrible 2. This made it a 3, which is still horrible. I failed. I only got a 3, so I get a gold for this. And one more of these. I get my attack point back. But he didn't do his job. Now for this one, I'm rolling a red and a blue, but I have to subtract. Oh, hold on. I had a 4 because of this. Still wasn't enough. This one, the attack roll of +1 cancels out his -1. This one I rolled a 4, and I needed a 5. So I got a 3, so I take this off. I got a draw, basically. So I get 2 gold and 1 supply. So there's my 1 supply and 2 gold. Like so. So neither of them succeeded. Although he did better. Oh, and then his says, see, double looming threat rewards. So that means I get another 2 gold and another supply. That's the whole reason why he did it. So that's good. Good, good, good. He just doesn't double the gems. Okay, and then we revealed the year-end event. And I don't remember what it was. I think it was a looming threat. It is a little bit easier than this one. But we can attack that one in the future. We're supposed to resolve this before we do that. My apologies. Each player discards their quest. If they've completed it, they gain its reward. We completed this, so we can choose to gain 5 gold, 2 of each, or 2 population. I am going to gain 2 population. That's the equivalent of 4 of these. So I'm going to take that. Then we gain an advisor. And we're not doing the epic game at the moment, so we get another advisor from over here. This one gives me my last population back, and then I get 4 supplies for expediting units. Or I can discard 2 units from my army to basically upgrade our fields. They both have good... I mean... I'm going to take the apothecary and 1. I have to use these markers. The actual physical board game, these are physical pieces, but they're not in this one. So 1, 2. Now remember, these can be used to expedite troops. And then it gives me my last population back, which is helping me with threat. And then this is negative victory points as well, if any of these are gone. So this can only be used to expedite units. Alright, and then we gotta do the war front. Hey, we got a victory, so it moves 1 to this way. So this is year 6, so we should have 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I forget to draw 2 times? That's crazy if I forgot to draw twice. I only see 4 cards in a discard. On year 6, I should have 6 of these cards. I forgot to draw twice. My apologies. Well, here's the 5th time. 1, 2. Then they're doing a direct assault. normal difficulty. Ignore on the first 2 rounds. So this would potentially make us move 2 more. They're going to roll 2 red dice. I have no defense other than... So it's 2 red versus 2 gray. So I'm going to hit the R key. That's supposed to roll these. So here you see he got a 7, I got a 3, so I lost. That means this moves 2 more pips, according to this. And then 1 more. And they advance 1 more time. If this card triggers last stand, we get a extra defense. So they're at 10. Okay, I feel better about this. So right here, I hover over this. That shows there's 6 cards in a discard pile. And then we've gone through 6 rounds. And none of the cards are over here. Because remember, there was 2 of them that went over here. But that's... Anyways, that's the way it's supposed to be. My apologies for forgetting to do that. And then we do our harvest. So we did 2 campaigns. So we get 2 gold. We have 2 silver for another gold. Get 2 of these for this. And that brings us to the end of year 6. We finished the first phase. We now move to year event 2s. And we're starting here. That card's gone. At this point, I'm not sure there's anything he can draw that I'm really looking for. But we always can pick from there. So here's our 3. This guy, when this enters your territory, we get all 4 of these things. That's a victory point and another victory point. At this stage, I might want to do that. So I'm going to build him. And then we're going to build a field for a second one. Put this over here. I don't want to rush anything. Just going to let it go. Everything moves down. This produces. We don't have... Well, hold on. While we push everything down, now we get to expedite. So I'm going to spend 1 to expedite troops. So here's 1, 2. Then I'm going to spend another 1 to expedite troops. And we got 1, 2. It has 1, 2, right? So now I got 3 of them in here. I need a 4th one, so let's expedite again. We're going to expedite this one. And so now we got 4 troops in our standing army. So I can discard this. That lets us move this up. So now we have 5 defense. Which, it's funny because we don't really need the defense anymore because we know we're not getting invaded, but still. Actually, we do need it. No, we don't. So now we could have 7 of them in here, but I don't think there's a need. We have had the 2 technology for a while now. Oh, actually, and then we would need 6 standing army, which we do have if everybody's in here. And that requires us to get this one next turn. So I could push these down. Let's do that. So I'm going to push these down to here. So next turn when this drops, along with these 2 guys, I will have 6 armies in my standing army. And I'll be able to upgrade that to a 3. Now why do I want to upgrade things to 3? Victory points. So that means this round I can't go attacking. I gotta stay. And that's fine. And we used up all of her tokens, which is also fine. That's the whole point of it. Alright, so anything else we want to do? We can't feed population. I do want to send out a caravan, so let's do that. That'll come back on year 8. So we're going to do 1, 2, 1, 2, then reduce. So we did the caravan, feed population. We don't need to fortify. I don't want to buy knowledge, I don't think. We are at level 2 on the military. Like, I didn't invest in cavalry. This would have been nice to get red dice instead of blue. Oh, are we level 3 on anything? Yes, we're level 3 resources, so we could buy this one. You may allocate your worker stance to this knowledge in round step 5 to gain a gem and a gold. So I can put my worker on this instead of on one of my 4 fields and just get this as my income instead of what's down there. It's not horrible. It cost me 5 gold to get. So it would take me 5 turns to break even from a gold perspective, but the gems are endgame victory points. I mean, they're nice. How often am I going to be doing that? I guess maybe a few more times. If anything, though, I need supplies. Like, I feel bad I spent my 2, because as you can see, if you rush your troops, then they get ready again so you could go back out to war, right? You want them to, you need to resupply your troops to keep them warmongering. And I'm not in precarious spots. Well, I'm close. We need to win and push this thing. Now, there are things I can do. I have 8 gold. So this says for 5 gold. Actually, let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can move this 2 spots to the left. So I'm going to do exactly that. And so that sort of mutes the whole idea of buying this. Okay, so what we're going to do then is we're going to resolve the event. We have to choose our stance, that's right. So I am going to choose... We want to rush our troops. So I'm going to choose supplies. And then we'll reveal the event. I'm going to be right back. Okay,